Hey YouTube, uh, the date is January 25th and my stars aligned. And yeah, quick intro today. Got out flying. Everything worked out. I'm gonna keep this commentary to a minimum because there's gonna be a lot of it during the video. So I went flying and I got lots of video, probably too much. You're probably gonna get bored, so we'll see. Let me know in the comments how much this you want to see in the future. All right, see you in a bit. Hey everybody, welcome to the Great White North. It's definitely winter, but it's a great day. Managed to get out flying. I managed to get it on video. I missed the takeoff, sorry about that. So not a huge deal, but I got a bunch of landings and we'll check those out. But this first part, so what we did was we took off from Summerside, and we decided that we would fly down the road towards Kensington and out towards the shore, and do practicing some turns and whatnot along the way, and talk about what we're going to do and stuff like that. So this part's a little boring, so I'll probably stop this and maybe speed it up, because all we're doing is we're flying around here. We're flying in a straight line. We turn left a little bit, and then we do a big left turn, a big right turn, whatever, and then we head back to the airport. Basically, just practicing keeping everything at the at the same altitude all the way through the turn and all that kind of stuff, and then we just did circuits. So I will fast forward until we come up to a landing. All right, so here we are approaching Summerside. We're going to cross as the Canadian folk do, and we're going to cross midfield. When we were flying around over in the just doing our turns and stuff, we were doing that at about 2,000 feet. But by the time we come down over the airport here, we have to be at about 1,000 feet above ground level that's our circuit altitude. So we're gonna go midfield. We just crossed over top of the runway, so we're heading towards our downwind leg, and we'll do a right turn, and we'll head out over. And I don't know if you probably won't be able to tell, but there's a bay out there, and it's usually water. But in the winter, of course, it's just ice and snow. So where the trees and all that end, you can kind of see that's where the water starts, and you can see the runway just off to our right, right there, and that's where we'll be landing. So we're going to do a few circuits, and what I'll do is I'll stop talking, and I'll make the circuit parts quick, and then I'll slow it down for the actual landings and takeoffs. All right, here we go. Landing number 1. Wasn't too bad. We have gone a little fast towards the pavement, as I tend to do, but it wasn't too bad. None of the landings actually are very bad in this one. So yeah, there it is. And look at all the water on the runway. It was interesting because right behind the wheel, the front wheel, there's a little space in the floor, and it was spraying water. Every time I went over some water, it sprayed some water up in between my legs and it actually went as high as hitting the windshield, which is kind of funny. And so there's the touch and go. So we were down, and I added some throttle, and away we go. So yeah, that is one landing in the books on this flight. All right. Alright, here we go. Landing number 2. Although technically I think I might have missed one of the landings, and this might be number 3. I can't remember exactly. But we did go a little wide. I don't know if you guys noticed. I did go a little wide on the circuit on this one, like so. I went pretty far out, and I came in a little high, so I had to dive down pretty quick actually for the runway. But I managed to pull it out pretty good. And here we go for touchdown, and nice and smooth. Oh, butter. I had no problems with that one. So here we go again, and give it some gas. There it goes. Give it some gas and take off. And there we are, leaving the ground again. So this is an ultralight airplane. It's pretty easy to land and take off, honestly. Everything's kind of in slow motion, like you're really going slow. By the time I touch down, I'm only doing 30-35 miles an hour, which is pretty slow. so it's not too bad, at all. Taking off, same thing, although I like to keep the nose lowered till we hit about 65 or 70, and then I'll climb out at 70, maybe 75, which is pretty quick, but it is what it is. And what I try to do is I try to take off and I hit about 500 feet, then I level off and do a right turn, and then try to hit 1,000 feet before I do another right turn. This might be the one that I screwed up and turned a little soon on the second part, just because I didn't want to go as far out as I did that last one. So I think from now on what I might do is I won't wait till 1,000 to turn my initial turn, but I am gonna go a little higher than 500, and that way I'll get my altitude by the time I reach my downwind. But yeah, so this looks a little low. I think this is the one I screwed up. So at this point I should be at my circuit altitude right here, 1,000 feet. So although I've also heard that ultralight circuits are actually at 500, so but I need to talk to some people that actually fly ultralights, because honestly the guy I'm flying with is an awesome dude. His name's Ron, and I'm so way grateful to this guy. He's amazing. He's a great teacher. He's got thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands, years and years, like 35 or 30 years of flying histories in every aircraft known under the sun, so he's really good at what he does, but he hasn't flown a whole lot of ultralights. So I am going to go get an instructor and an ultralight, a proper ultralight instructor, and that's how I'll get my license anyway. So yeah, Ron's great, and he's teaching me a lot, as you guys can probably see. I mean, I'm not. These landings are all me. His hands are off the stick, so it's good. And I don't know. Yeah, I'll stop talking here and I'll speed up and head back to the landing. Alright, here we go. This is the last landing. This is not a touch and go. This will be a full stop and actually turn around and head back to the hangar. So this is probably my best landing of the day. It was nice. The approach was nice and smooth. It was a really good approach. So therefore, usually really good landing. So the approach was nice and smooth. I brought it down at a nice steady rate, and watch that. No, actually it didn't. The front wheel from this perspective looked like it bounced a little more than it did in the last one, but overall the landing was really good either way. Hit the brakes, turn off to the right a little bit, spin it around on the runway, and head back. So yeah, this is flight. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below, if you want to see more of this kind of stuff. I do have just the one camera in there for now. It'll record up to 4K video, but I'm only doing it at 1080p. So let me know if you want to see higher resolution, but I don't know. I think the editing might be challenging for that, so we'll see how that works. Yeah, so I would like to eventually I'm going to get another camera on the inside of the cockpit, and I'd like to get voice recording while I'm flying. It'd probably be better once I have an actual instructor where my hours start counting, where we're doing actual exercises that are meant for going towards the license. This is all great, and I'm learning awesome. This is like the main learning stuff, right? Like approaching, landing, all that kind of stuff, taking off. Just the fundamentals are here, which is great. But it might be a little boring listening to Ron tell me to keep my nose down in the turns and don't climb in my turns and all that kind of stuff. So it might be a little boring to hear about that kind of stuff. But yeah, so I suppose I should talk a little bit about this airport. It's Summerside, Prince Edward Island in Canada, obviously. And this was an old Army base, Air Force base actually. It was they had all these hangars were all military hangars, but now they're all taken over for various companies and whatnot. The hangar on the right there in the background, you can see two hangars. The one on the right is where we put our planes. There's about, I think, you saw in the old video, that's where that hangar is. So there's seven or eight aircraft in there. There's a bunch of police vehicles in there because the runway, the closed runways are being used by the police to do their, I think it's the police school. They're teaching people how to, do their chasing and all that kind of stuff. Whatever kind of driving police have to learn, that's what they do. All these aircraft, I'm not sure what they're for. I think they're just kind of hanging out for parts. Maybe they're fixing them. I don't know. But they never seem to move. So there you go. So yeah, we have a little bit of a stretch to get back to the hangar. So our cool down time for the engine is up by the time we get there, which is great. I don't have to sit there and wait. Yeah, I think the second hangar there is being used for some kind of building stuff. Like they actually build, I don't know, cabins or some kind of wood type building thing in there, like a fabrication type thing. So I'm not sure exactly what it is, but they're building stuff in there. The next hangar you'll see is a lot bigger than either of these two. And actually, I think Ron works in there, and I think they work on engines. So they'll ship engines in, certain types of turboprops, I believe. Maybe I think they do all sorts of stuff, but and they send them in there and they overhaul them, I guess, and do whatever they need to do and fix them up and ship them back out. You can see here that the taxiway isn't completely plowed, free of snow, but that's okay. It's just us little guys taxiing around. It's not that big of a deal. In fact, on the right side of the hangar in front of us here, there's actually a parking lot where people have all their cars and whatnot. And of course, out front of our hangar is where I park my car when I'm flying as well. So yeah. So we're coming around. So yeah, let me know if you want to see any more different things. It was awesome finally getting this on video. I've done a bunch that I just didn't get on video, so it's really great to catch this so I could show you guys. And I don't know, for me personally, this is the best flying I can do. Whether it's flight simulators, drones, or this, I would take this every day. So yeah, it works for me, and hopefully I can get my license and do lots more flying on my own. But right now it's just weekends and whenever Ron's available, and we'll see what happens as we get towards the spring. So I will stop talking, speed it up, and we'll go all the way till we put the plane in the hangar. And we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.